briefly, but we don't have to talk about it in
I mean,
depth.
we can talk about the show, but like because I was gonna say we could do Mutoid Man and Ghost and talk about them, but I was at the same time it's like I know Joey's been really into them, so it'd be nice to have someone
Yeah, I
to talk
think
about them. So
you're talking about just talking about the music of Ghost, though, right?
yeah. Like we
I'm
could just pick
talking
the
about.
next album. Oh yeah,
Okay,
we can talk about that.
talk about
He's not the
the
only one who
show.
knows anything about Ghost.
Go into the show itself.
You don't know shit about Ghost.
Yeah, dude, boy, I've been listening to Ghost since album 1. I've seen him like 5
Yeah,
times.
me too. I bought that shit at work, and I was like, we got to put this in. This album cover looks fucking great.
Right on. But yeah, I've been down on Ghost for a minute. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
I did not listen to the latest album until recently, though.
Yeah.
I did not like the one before it. I was just like, I don't know.
No, it's better. It's better when you go back.
Yeah.
There's a couple
I've been
jams on
listening to
it.
So I was not like, I felt like it kind of got too produced or something.
Yeah,
Like,
they kind of
shit
go
got too
wild on the
poppy.
second one. Yeah, it's really poppy. I think that's what makes it so funny, though.
Yeah, that's right. Like it's like radio friendly, but it's all about Satan.
Yeah.
Dude,
They're
that's why I love playing that album at work, because it's just like the first album is just all about it.
Right.
I love the song off the newest record called "He Is," because I was listening to it today and I was like, this could almost be a fucking like about Jesus.
Yeah, yeah.
But because I know it's Ghost, it's about Satan, which makes me laugh even more.
Right, right. Are they actually Satanists?
I doubt it. They're from Sweden, though.
They're just all Scandinavian dudes.
Yeah.
It's just a show, right? They're not like actually like Gorgoroth, where they're actually Satanists.
No, I don't think so.
Not necessarily. It's like, yeah, it's supposed to be like a super group of a few different bands, but nobody really knows who they are.
The fact that they can keep that secrecy,
Yeah.
I think, is amazing.
The singer has changed twice now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So it
and there are
sounds different on
rumors.
the album?
It's rumors that it's the same dude, just like with like he had prosthetics on for the first album.
That too, yeah. His
He was
first
like-
mask was like latex shit.
Yeah. So, and Dave Grohl has been confirmed as playing drums at some point in the band.
He's been
Yeah,
confirmed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like he doesn't do it all the time, I don't think. I think they were just like, he's probably just like does that random shit he'll do for tours or like be on an album or something just for the hell of it. Because Dave, even though I don't care for the Foo Fighters music that much, I love Dave Grohl so much.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
awesome.
great.
That series on HBO about Sonic Highways, like I don't like any of the songs they made for that album, but like the journey and like all the people that they have come by and talk while they're making these albums at these like famous studios is so fucking interesting.
Yeah, I
They
saw
did
the LA
Out There
one.
with
That shit
Steve
was
Albini.
great.
Yeah, that one's good. I watched the one where they go to DC and like Ian McKay is just like showing up all the time, and I was like,
Oh man, that's
do,
yeah.
Do you even like Foo Fighters, or do you just like it? Just seems like a bunch of musicians getting together and just hanging out. And, like it doesn't really even matter if it's like necessarily like what they're into.
You could probably not even like Foo Fighters. Well, like you just like Dave Grohl. He's just like an awesome dude.
Yeah, I like all his side projects, like them Crooked Vultures. I thought was pretty solid. Probot was a lot of fun.
You don't like Everlong, bro?
I mean, I like Foo Fighter songs. I just like I don't get like fucking crazy like Shape and Color. Is that the name of that record?
Yeah, I like Everlong, and I don't know, a couple songs, but
My
I'm not
Hero's
super
fucking
into it.
great. I get all like giddy every time I hear that fucking song. I just like anything recently. I haven't been like. I guess Wasting Light was pretty solid. It's like a straight up rock record. I like that one. I like some Foo Fighters stuff, but I'm not like a huge fan.
Right.
God damn it, Andrew! Just drag it out of me. Fuck. I fucking love the Foo Fighters.
Let's start this thing, man.
All right.
Maddie, I think you should start. It's episode 26.
Oh, okay.
Because you haven't done it yet, I don't think.
Okay, I'll do it.
Go ahead.
Hello, all. This is episode 26 of the Superhouse podcast. It's going to be tense, fast-paced, and probably some heartwarming tenderness is going to be involved.
Keep it tender. My name is Andrew, as you know. Calling in from Los Angeles. And that's it.
This is Stefan from Denver, currently dying in bed with a cold.
But you
and
still
eating
made it.
I made it. I bought a bunch of edibles, and I've almost eaten the entire container.
You're going to be retarded by the end of this one, man.
Oh, that's okay. I've all that Dayquil I took too. I'm like, it doesn't even matter now. I'm full on self-medicating. It's delicious.
God.
You're either gonna wake up feeling amazing tomorrow, or you're just gonna feel like the biggest piece of shit.
I got a day off. Fuck it.
Oh, well, it doesn't even matter.
I just ate another one.
Eating a shitload of edibles is probably not good for trying to get over a cold, man.
What are you
Yeah,
talking
there's
about?
probably
They're
worse.
like, it's like a pain reducer, if anything.
Yeah, I
I
guess.
feel great.
There's probably worse things.
I'm
you
sure
can
you do.
I got 10 milligrams of THC in each of them, and I've eaten maybe 50 milligrams. Not that big a deal.
All right.
And I'm Maddie. I'm in Cincinnati.
Only three of us here right now because we don't know where everybody else is. Well, Joey's actually in going to
way.
Vegas. Johnson is asleep, and James's computer is broken. So we're kind of working on a skeleton crew, but I think we're going to get through with it, guys.
Nice.
I don't even know how we're gonna do this.
We talked for 4 hours before it was just the three of us, right?
That's true. What
God.
happens when I get a little drink in us?
A little
Working on
drinky
some.
poo.
Almost done. Need another glass.
Oh, man. What are you drinking?
Wine out of a pub glass because I'm fancy.
Is it Merlot?
It's,
Merlot.
It's box wine from Boda Box called Red Volution, and it's fucking delicious. And it's
Is
like
it-
$20 for like basically 3 bottles worth of wine.
Is it Franzia?
No, it's Boda Box. It's fancier. It's
Okay.
like $5 more. So calm down. I spent some money on it.
All right. So, what we want to get to first? You want to go over Mutoid Man?
Let's do it.
All right. So we're officially entering onto Maddie's music,
We're doing it.
which is essentially Maddie's music, very much inspired by Stefan.
Yeah. Well, I actually like that someone else picked some music besides me.
I like you heading up that section though.
I mean, I'll
Yeah.
hit it up, but I mean, it was nice to like listen to something
Like
that I kinda-
every few, let somebody else grab one or something.
Yeah, I mean, I know Stefan and I from Camera Noise. We were always listening to all kinds of shit
Yeah.
all the time. So I hope that everyone else in this group is listening to other music besides what I present them.
I just
But,
didn't want to
like,
front
I-
on your steez, bro.
I mean, it's fine. Like, I would love to do that band Horrors that you were talking about because I actually didn't listen to them, but I would like to. But anyway, the album is Bleeder by Mutoid Man. It's like 3 dudes. This album's fucking solid. It's got the lead singer of Cave-In, which I fucking loved. The Cave-In record Jupiter is fucking great. Also, their other like more like hardcore or metal-esque stuff is also pretty cool too. But this album is great. Bridge Burner is like my new favorite jam. I listened to that
Yeah,
song like
that-
3 times on truck the other day, and people were like, "Man, for fuck's sake, play something by them or switch it." And I was like, "But the song's so good." And they're like, "There's only like 3 lyrics to this song," and I was like, "I know, so you can all sing along with me." I love it. I just think it's a solid like fucking rock metal record that just like encompasses every metal genre ever recorded ever. It's just a fun record. I like don't know what else to say. Like there's not a song on here I'm like, like all of them. I don't know. It's just so fucking good. I'm glad Stefan recommended it because it was something I was always like, I'll be like, I'll get to that band, I'll check them out, but got to it. It's wonderful. I did not listen to their first one though. I've been stuck on this one. Someone else go. I'm done talking.
Take it away, Stefan.
Yeah, the Bleeder's really good album. It's like interesting all the way through, and it like changes and shifts. It has a lot of like, it begins with a lot of like that club, like even kind of hair metal, American rock and roll kind of sound to it. Really bluesy, but just like shredding, insanely like metal riffage. You know what I mean? It's like if the drummer played more hardcore style of drumming, it would be like a straight up hardcore band. But because they're like Blues incorporating his sensibilities to like a more bluesy rock and roll style, allows for a lot like choppier drums and stuff, and it just seems like they have a lot of fun on this album and the last album, just in general as a band. and the songs like, they don't dwell too hard on like deep concepts necessarily, than having just like a flair or an attitude that shines through in the lyrics and the songwriting. Um, yeah, it's like I can imagine like driving through Vegas with like a like an Hunter S. Thompson. Uh, what am I trying to say here? It's a good album.
I liked it.
I liked it.
Moving on.
It's fun as hell. Well, and one other thing, it reminds me sometimes of like some of the song structural stuff. Like I hear a little bit of Mastodon in there, and a little bit of Every Time I Die, and a little bit of um, what are they called? Dillinger Escape Plan. So it's a fun record of anything. If you're into that kind of thing, having fun.
Yeah, I liked it a lot, man. I gotta tell you, I feel like if there was like a Billboard top, I guess there is if for metal in some way. I don't know. I don't know the details, but if there was like a top chart for metal, I feel like Bridge Burner would be like, you know, the number one song of the summer or whatever. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
such
that's
good
like
openers.
it's really heavy, like the guitar work and all that's like Mastodon, but he's singing like
Cave In.
Cave In. So it's a really like really good song. I played that one a lot. That's probably the song I've been playing the most lately out of anything on Spotify.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I listened to the rest of that album, and I listened to the whole first album as well. Narcissist from the first album is actually the second most popular track after Bridge Burner. It's Narcissist with a G, like gnarly.
yeah.
That's a really cool name. But yeah, I mean, the rest of the album is really good as well. But I don't know, man. Something about Bridge Burner, like Maddie said, it's just I don't know.
both albums have really good openers.
Yes,
They both. Narcissist is a fucking awesome song,
right.
and it's just like it just they keep it interesting throughout, and it's almost with the rest of the album is they continue to keep it interesting. It's a lot like listening to Between the Buried and Me, if you guys listen to Between the Buried and Me at all. But
Colors.
yeah, Colors is great.
Right.
A lot, they're a really amazing, like crazy intricate type of band. They write these big like sweeping operatic like fucking pieces of music, and it's all metal for the most part, and like a bunch of other shit. But I feel like Mutoid Man kind of like in its rock and roll sensibility, and it's kind of like wild having fun sensibility. He does some of that really complex, intricate, smart metal shit, but is also like fucking look at me like jumping off the fucking speaker like David Lee Roth and shit.
It seems like I watched some like live performance stuff after we started listening to this, and it seems like I don't know where the other guys are from. I'm sure they're in other bands. It seems like it's just like, hey, do you guys want to make a new Mutoid Man record? And they're like, yeah, that sounds fun, because their other bands are so, I guess being in like a
Such an
bigger band or
investment.
something. Yeah, it's like it's probably more stress, and like Mutoid Man seems like an outlet for them to just like fucking rock and have some fun. Like watching that Tom Jones video, the cover that they do of She's a Lady on that subway train is just fucking great. Like that's like if there's anything I can give you to introduce you to this band is watch that video and then go listen to Bleeder, because it's
Yeah.
like sets up like what you're getting into with like an album. It's like it's all about fun. It's all about just playing music for the fuck of it and just seeing where that goes. Because there are some songs that are super poppy. There are some songs that start off poppy but then get fucking metal as fuck on the record. And it's one of those fun bands that I just like. They're just having fun playing music, and it's always nice to hear just like a straight up like fun rock record. And this is what that reminds me of. It's like I would put that up there with Anti-Mask and
Yeah.
you know, like as the two like just getting two members from different bands together and just making fun fucking rock records. But it's fucking good, man. It's so good, so much fun, and Bridge Burner, it's fucking great
I made
track, man.
I made a
Also love
mistake.
1,000 Mile Stare and Sweet Ivy a lot as well.
I mentioned the wrong Converge member. I meant
I don't.
Steven Brodsky, the guitarist in this band. They got fucking rules.
Yeah, he's from Cave In, and he does some stuff with Converge from time to time, but he's not like
Yeah,
Converge.
that I had that bit wrong.
Yeah,
Sorry, listening public. I probably sounded like a fucking idiot.
it's okay. I'm here because I love Converge so much.
They hold me.
It feels like Mutoid Man should be way more popular than they are. Like
Agreed.
Mastodon achieved some popularity. They won a Grammy and shit.
Yeah.
You know, like they got somewhat far, but maybe Mutoid Man will also get there at some point. Also, I want to say, best fucking cover art on both those albums I've seen in a long time. Like that and like Jacob Bannon's work on Converge. Like any dude, I love that art, man.
I pick up records just because Jay Bannon does artwork for them sometimes. It's like it's so great to get a Converge record because it's like you got a piece of art too. It's like you have the music, but then you've like got an art piece at the same time, and that's what any band that's doing that, I love that shit. But yeah, man, Mutoid Man, everybody needs to listen to this shit. This is only their second record too, so third record could set them. You know, in the next couple of
Yeah.
years, whenever they decide to make one, could be the turning point. I
Yeah,
kind of
man.
like that they're a smaller band at this point, just because it's like a few people know about it. So like
Easier to go to
you
their
can,
shows.
well, it's that, and it's going to be more intimate. Like if they like, I feel like Mastodon's at the point now where it's like going to be so huge. Like I remember the first time I saw them was Remission tour at fucking Jinx, and I was like, man, this is fucking intimate as shit. And it's like I haven't seen them since, but it's going to be a
Dude,
totally different experience.
we saw all those guys like
Yeah.
Kylesa and
Damn.
Baroness.
That's what I
Uh,
liked about going to see Baroness recently is like it was still a pretty small venue. Like
oh,
I feel
really?
like they're pretty big at this point, coming from like where they went to college in Savannah to like seeing them in Ohio. But it's like it was still pretty intimate. But
Those
you
were our
know, they only
There's
bands,
just like a
man.
bunch of talent running through Savannah of all places.
Yeah.
yeah
Remember?
Yeah.
We saw fucking Melt Banana there, man.
yeah
Like they got pretty big. They were on Adult Swim for as crazy as their music is.
yeah.
You know?
Kylesa broke up, so
Yeah.
that's a
Oh, they
shame.
did. I didn't even know
I saw
that.
I saw
them
them.
this
Yeah,
winter.
yeah. I saw them at a
Circle takes the
re-
square.
I saw them at this place called Zanzibar. It was super small. There's probably like 20 people in there.
Nice.
It was so small. It was so fucking cool too, but I was like, this is kind of sad. I was really hoping this place would be packed for you guys because you guys fucking rock. But
I saw Darkest Hour a couple years ago, and there was like 25 people in the audience, and they played like a dream set of their like first few albums.
That's
okay.
weird. I always figured Darkest Hour would be much bigger than that.
Yeah, their last album
I
was
don't,
really good. They just like they kind of not like people don't give a shit about them anymore. They kind of popped out a little bit.
I saw them several times in Savannah too.
I
Yeah,
feel like it's like the current climate of music is there's so much coming out all the time.
yeah,
You know, if you're not following these bands, you know, like I just thought like just recently like Every Time I Die was they have a new album coming out, but I would just like a totally lost track after like the college like the stuff we listened to in college, which was like what
yeah.
was the last one, like Gutter Phenomenon was probably the
Hot,
last one I
hot
listened to.
damn.
I mean that's a fucking great record, but
Yeah.
like I think the last one I listened to was probably that or like The Big Dirty or something or like
They
and
went
then
kind of
like
southern rock, right?
yeah, I mean it's good. It's still fucking good. I've listened to a couple tracks off Low Teens and I don't really care for them, but I don't know. But it's just like there's so much coming out all the time. It's overshadowing all this stuff. If I don't like, I just started
Yeah.
having to add bands on Facebook just to see where they're touring because like I'll get online. They're like, oh yeah, we were in Cincinnati 2 weeks ago, and it's like, fuck, what?
Yeah,
God
exactly.
damn it! Like, why did I not know about this? It's like I'm hearing about like Justin Bieber coming to town or whatever the fuck, and it's like, no, I want to know about like Diggable Planets, which I just saw in Cincinnati, which is fucking great. Not a hardcore band, but a '90s rap group, fucking great. Um, but it's just like you got to stay in touch with those bands you like, man, because no one else will. Like you're moving on all the time, consistently, with the current like the way music is today. So much stuff coming out. I do love that Nerdist has a column for just metal music, though. I
Have you
check
read
in
it
every
recently?
yeah, they did. They did because Planes Mistaken for Stars is coming out with a new record. It's been like 10 years or something since their last one. Um, so it's and then there's this band called Gate Creeper, which I don't really care for, but they're like high on the metal list of cool things coming out. But they also put some like random indie like underground shit in there, and they'll talk about like Paul Bearer and stuff. And
I
it's
saw
cool.
them the other night.
How was that? Was it good?
It was good, but the fucking I hate the fucking scene out here, man. Everybody's so fucking pretentious about the metal bands here.
Mm.
There's a local band called Chemist, and they're really good too. They're probably the best metal band in Denver right now, and they're basically just like Pallbearer. But
Yeah.
and to see them play together was fucking so epic, dude. But all the audience members just stood there and like barely nodded their heads and headbanged and shit like that. And I'm like, I know it's slow, but I mean it's still heavy. It still has it still has like a groove to it. Like I was kind of just hoping more people would like be moving around or like having more fun, basically.
Yeah.
And this one dude flipped me off because I was like headbanging too close to him, and then this other dude was just like, wrong show, dude. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, who the fuck are you, man? Like, I came
That's
to see Paul Bear and have a good time, and it fucking sucked, man. And now I remembered why I don't go out to shows very often.
yeah, that's how it
'Cause of
was
that
at
shit.
Kylesa. Like, there's like this like
Yeah.
every metal show I've ever
Fucking
been
metal
to,
hipsters. Fuck you.
every show I've ever been to in Louisville that's a metal show has been like staying there, arms crossed, barely banging your head, and I'm like, I
Yeah,
come from
exactly.
like
That
seeing like
sucks.
hardcore shows and stuff, and
I
I'm
wanna
ready to like sing along and fucking get into it, and it's
I
like
wanna
no one
get
else is, and I'm
crazy.
like, okay. That's why I'm
It's
so excited about going to Riot Fest because I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
this it's called Riot Fest. I'm not looking to get in mosh pits anymore, but I'm ready to throw a fist up in the air and fucking sing along and push back a little. Not too much. I'm getting old. I can break bones now. I have bird
Yeah.
bones basically. They're
Yeah. I'm
hollow
like,
and they break
I,
easy.
bird bones.
I it meant like I haven't been too into like mosh pits or anything, but I felt like nobody was even moving around, so I tried to get it started a couple times, and people just like were not into it. One of my friends like totally like turned away from me, like he didn't know me. I'm like, I'm the asshole here. Like I thought I was at a metal show.
You should
You
have
know what I
done
mean?
hardcore dances, bro.
Nah, I didn't want to actually like hit anybody.
Freestyle kung fu.
I was just trying to get some movement going, like some fucking, and nobody knew shit there. They're just standing there watching them. I'm like, this is the headliner, and you're acting like it's the opener.
So is there some sort of weird thing like they're like this is metal, but it's not that kind of metal?
I guess it's pretentious. It's a fandom. It's a certain type of fandom that like, oh, we knew about this band like way before you knew about it. So, what I mean? It's just that attitude of like having they're so underground or whatever. And like Paul Bear's not that underground anymore.
No, I would
You know what I
say
mean?
I would
no.
say they're
And when they
still
came out,
pretty.
like they're for me for the venue I saw them at, they're still not like super famous. But I think
Oh yeah,
every person who listens to metal knows who fucking Paul Bear is.
they should.
Like right now, I think that I would be surprised to find that there are a lot of people who are diehard metal fans that don't know about Paul Bearer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just seemed like it was just like there was no energy there. It wasn't that fun, and they were fucking awesome, man. I just have had this at the last few shows. Like people they don't engage it the same way anymore. It's not fun because everybody's out trying to look cool and trying not to get a black eye and shit, and like because now it's because girls like metal. you know, and
There's
there's a
always
lot
been
more
a
metal.
few.
I feel like in Denver especially, there's a big scene for it because all like the hipster kids who went and got fucking what do you call it, like traditional tattoos, and were listening to like Joanna Newsom and Devendra Banhart are now fucking into this metal band or this black metal band or this fucking band. You know what I mean? And it's just like they just transitioned into another scene, and I feel like everybody's there like, oh, I have to buy this shirt and this shirt. It's great for metal bands because dumb fucking people are just throwing the money, but it like dilutes the fan base because it's not as fun to go to shows because of pretentious little assholes like that fucking think they know exactly the best way to experience this
Well,
band or
you
whatever.
know,
Like it's fucking Pink Floyd or something. You know what I mean? I'm just like, where are your fucking balls, you little nutsack? And I turned around. I flipped them off back, and I was like, you guys are fucking lame. And they walked away because I would have killed them.
it's true. I would not fight you. Your hair is too
Because
long.
then a mosh pit would have been on. Anyway, I digress. Paul Bearer
Shit,
fucking
B.
rules.
Like, yeah, I mean, I get it too, but I haven't really seen like a good like. I don't know. I'm super excited for Riot Fest just to see like Refuse and like Thursday and stuff, man. Like, I'm like, how can you sit still while watching this shit?
Yeah,
I don't know.
right.
It's just because I like grew up with those records and they're like a part of me now. It's like there's no way I can't move to that shit, man. You know, it's like I saw Murder by Death in Louisville at a free show for like fucking the Derby or whatever, and I was just like, I
Is it
know this shit's
storming there,
dope.
by the way, dude?
It is. I can't
We
help that. I
I
can't
can.
help the weather.
That's fine. I can totally hear it. It's
Yeah,
cool.
it's
It's
fucking
cool.
wild.
It's a dark
Um,
and stormy night.
I know, right? I was listening to this band called Horseback, and it's really like, have you heard of them, Stefan?
Horse bath?
Horseback, like
Oh no,
riding
I haven't.
horseback. They're like from like North Carolina. It's like one dude, and he like writes everything, and then he gets like friends to like come in and do the other instruments or whatever. But
Cool.
this album I picked up by them is pretty atmospheric and just kind of just weird, and it's like all these thunderstorms were crashing in the background. I was like, oh my god, this makes this album so much better.
What's it called?
Um, oh god, hold on.
I'm looking them up right now. I'm listening to this shit as soon as we get off of this motherfucker.
It's called Piedmont Apocryphy. Here's
All
the
right.
album cover if you need to see it. It's right there.
Oh,
But
it's not on Spotify.
they listen to Dead Ringers though, because that album just dropped like last week, and it's fucking great,
Okay.
dude. Their other
Okay,
stuff is
I'm
way
gonna do
more
that.
metal, way more like Neurosis, screamy kind of stuff.
All right.
But these like this
Yes.
one and then Dead Ringers is pretty pretty different. I'm interested. Like I would like to do Horseback as the next one.
I
Dead
love
Ringers because I fucking love that record so much. But we'll see how
I
this
love new
conversation
finds.
goes. But you know who's gonna bring the fucking thunder? It will be me, Stefan, Andrew, Joe, James, going into at the Ghost slash Death Heaven
Bow.
show.
Bow,
I'm
bow.
gonna lose my
Bow,
shit,
bow,
probably get kicked
bow, bow,
out.
bow,
Because how can
bow,
you sit there with Death Heaven as an
bow,
opening
bow,
act
bow,
and the
bow,
Ghost as your
bow,
headliner, or vice versa? I don't
bow,
care who's first or
bow.
second.
Dude, I wanted
It's
to
gonna be
say
epic.
A plus segue right there.
Oh,
I like that.
It's my goal for this podcast.
You're like a
is to
politician.
segue.
Very good. Yeah. So just to fill the listener in, we are all going to a show in October to see Death Heaven and Ghost, and hopefully we won't be gazing at our shoes too much, and we will be, listening to some devil worship.
Some devil, we're gonna burn the effigy and mock sacrifice the.
I could get how like if you're listening to Death Heaven, because like
It's
I've
gonna
listened
be-
to New Bermuda and Sunbather quite a bit, so I kind of know the lyrics. I can
Yeah.
get, like, I know how you can sit there and not like scream along because it's like his voice is very, like it's not made for. It's like watching Converge. You just kind of like let it happen.
Maddie, watch out! There's a Frankenstein behind you.
I know, right? It's fucking scary as shit in Cincinnati right now.
The lightning and shit.
thunderstorms
His
are
lights go
everywhere.
out. We're like, Maddie, hold on. We're sending
I-
help.
I know. I was like gonna unplug my computer so I could continue this, but I'm kind of letting it charge as much as I can. Yeah, like I don't know how you could set still for Ghost though. Like if you just know an album, they're gonna play something off of it.
Right.
You're gonna
Yeah.
sit there, you're gonna shout, you're gonna throw your fist up in the air, and you're gonna be like, "Yes, Dark Lord, I love you."
They got a good handful of jammers, man.
Dude,
Yeah,
like,
Stefan. Actually, could
Ghost
you've
rules.
you've seen them several times live? Could you explain your experiences with that?
Yeah, the first time I saw him, the first time I saw him was at this venue called the Marquee here in Denver, and it's really small, and they have a ton of great metal shows. I've seen Enslaved here, I've seen Skeleton Witch here, I've seen fucking, I saw fucking Glassjaw there a couple years ago. My God, man, it's the best venue in town for this kind of shit. And anyway, they come out with like burning incense, and it's like a mass begins, and it's like complete silence, and people are like taking pictures and shit. And he gets out and he says a few things like begins the mass and shit like that, and then the keyboards will kick in, and then they'll just like jump right into the jams. But I've seen, and I think they have a little bit more like stage production now, in terms of like lighting and whatever. They're playing a lot bigger venues now. So it's going to be interesting to see how they've evolved as performers after 2 albums.
Yeah.
And every one of them, I think, like, they're great albums, but at certain points they like lose me near at certain points in sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, but they have a good handful of like really just great songs. Like they're a great rock band, bar
Yeah.
none, and the show is gonna be so fun, dude. Because I guarantee you, between what, five of us, six of us, five of us,
Yeah, I'm
um,
assuming James's lady will be joining as well.
yeah, yeah.
She's a fan of the Deaf Heaven.
So between all of us, we're gonna be singing all the jammers and stuff, the ones that we like, and that's gonna be great because we're gonna be like, I like that one too.
I will be singing along to every Ghost song I know, and I will
Yeah,
be fully prepared to sing along
it's gonna
to
be
that concert.
so fun.
You
The
met?
money we threw down for these concert tickets, I
Yes,
will
we
be
did,
acting a fool.
dude. It's gonna be epic, man. We're gonna
It's going to
lose
be
our
a lot of fucking
minds.
fun. Yeah. This needs to be documented on film. Some
Yes,
pregame before.
that's another thing. So when you guys are here, we want to film a lot of stuff. If you are a
Cool.
listener, if you could tweet us at Superhouse Pod about ideas for what we could do at the show or before the show or um, the week that they're here, uh,
I'm not
let us
showing my
know.
tits. Okay, I'll do it for you, listeners. I'll do it for you.
Woo! Maddie showed
What
his tits on air.
what do you guys think we could do? Like what could be like a video idea?
We should get some
Uh,
food and beer and talk about like like you're talking about like the Seinfeld like comedians in cars, whatever, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I,
It could be like equal parts like catching up with each other, video games, like geek talk, getting not drunk, but like having drinks or whatever.
Just like
Yeah,
at the couch type of thing.
yeah.
yeah.
Do you know any
That could
bar that
work.
would let you film, like during
I
the
could
day?
I can maybe work that out.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Because then we could. Do you have any lav microphones?
I do.
I have one. We could
Bring
like
it.
we could. Yeah, I have. I'll bring a bunch of equipment. Um, what was I saying? Yeah, but anyway, just set up like a little situation where maybe we could have a little space, a little bit of like fake some production value somehow. Maybe somebody's nice yard. I don't know. Whatever.
Right. Well, I mean,
Dude,
worst comes
this
to
is what
worst,
I
Joey's
think.
got a nice couch,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
we
Yeah,
we
This
that's
is what
could
I
do that.
think. We stand in the backyard. We have a keg in the middle. Just fill up those cups and we just talk about shit.
good. Yeah. What if we have one where we sit on the couch, like a moment where we sit on the couch and we're playing a video game or like taking turns on it or fighting each other in Street Fighter. So like amidst the conversation, there's like fuck you, no, like battling each other or reacting to the game being played. Kind of like if you were a fly on the wall when like people like us were kids playing games, Nintendo and shit, and like all the goofy shit that's going down while you're in.
Will we be able to take a camera into this venue?
I think so. I mean, they usually allow that, right?
I'll bring my iPhone.
I don't know. I was also thinking about maybe we should make fake passes. So we'll be like, oh, we're from a podcast. We need to record this.
Right, 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 right.
And
Because
the
how the fuck they
backstage.
gonna know? You know?
Yeah, they're not going to check at that point.
Yeah. So I mean, not even backstage. Just about like we could start off with us on the couch catching up. It's like, what? I get there on a Wednesday or whatever. Is that it? Yeah, it's like Wednesday. So Thursday will be like my first time probably hooking up with like probably Andrew. I mean, we might meet on Wednesday, but just us all sitting down in the same room together so we could do a little pre-game before the show and then the trip to the show. I just think we should
That's
document
true.
everything.
Like a timeline.
Everything we can. Just fucking like let's get the
Yeah.
SD cards, whatever the fuck we need. Let's get it like get the money together. Let's do it. Let's shoot everything, and then we can just like, someone can edit it together at the end, just to like cut out all the like the fat or whatever, and just get the good stuff. But just to document the journey, just for our own sakes of being friends for 10+ years, I
What
think
if
would
we
be
do it?
really fun.
What if we do it where like the couch stuff is just us sitting down for like a live, not live, but like between all the friends and stuff, like a sit-in episode where we're actually interacting with one another, and then we just film that, and then have all this other stuff that we catch while we're there. Sorry. What we catch while we're there that can be intercut into like the episode and shit, maybe like visual references to stuff that happened either a day before or whatever.
I mean, yeah, I would like to document everything that happens in LA.
I have some ideas.
Just like soon as we get there, just I wish me and Stefan, you and I were coming in together, so there could be like this meeting at the
Yeah.
airport and hugs and
When do you
kisses
get
and
in?
whatever. It's when you're coming in on Tuesday, right?
I
Because I'm in on
forget.
Didn't you say 2 days before? You're coming in on Monday, maybe.
I think I come in on Tuesday because I got
Okay.
that day off.
But either way,
Let's
like
see.
I just think it'd be fun just to be like, because I plan on buying a camera for Riot Fest in Chicago and hopefully filming something. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Rachel from Intergalactic Circus is there, so I'm hoping to like
Oh
hang
shit.
out with her a little bit and just get some like her random stories she posts on Facebook. I love because it's just like being a woman in today's time. So I just want to talk about like like when I see her at like the little booth she's gonna be at. I like want to see like what shitty guy stuff has already happened to her throughout the day. But yeah, so like I would just like I'll have the camera and then I'll just be like, all right, getting off the plane, first time in LA, don't know where the fuck I am, and then like seeing each other with cameras, it'd be so good.
I
That's a good
get.
idea.
Yeah, I just
I,
want to like film everything, and then we can intercut stuff. Like if like Andrew can't be there for a day if he's got to work, or if like Bowditch can't be there, or like me and Bowditch can go do something, or if it's like me and Stefan just like, well,
yeah.
everybody's at work. Let's see what the fucking kind of mess we can get into today. Just both of us with cameras, just filming everything, and just like kind of cutting this like weird documentary of LA with Superhouse or some shit. Like this shit could be
All
an
right.
hour long. Someone could want to buy this shit from us.
An epic tale of true bros.
Netflix original.
Yeah.
I think it
But
could
yeah,
Yeah,
work.
it'll be fun. It'll be
I
fun.
just think we should shoot everything. I mean, there's got to be like they'll probably like if we shoot as much as we can, there's got to be something there that can be used. I mean, even if it's not, just fucking put it on the internet, man.
Then find the show within all the footage that we shot.
Yeah, I mean, there's got
Yeah.
to be something. I mean, I just think the fact of us all coming together again for the first time in fucking 10 years is fucking that's
Right.
enough. There's the story. Let's see what unfolds. You know,
It's
like
like the Hangover. It's like a
either
found
we're gonna
footage
go
hangover.
yeah, either we're gonna go crazy or we're just gonna be 30 somethings that suck at life. So
And we need to all be in the same. We need to have like a separate thing where we do a podcast all together in the same room
oh yeah,
Yeah,
dude, that should
yeah.
definitely be filmed. Like a
and
live
and
podcast.
film
That'll
that
be
as
great.
well. Yeah,
Yeah.
film it as well. We should even like
We should do that Facebook
periscope it
Live
on
thing.
somebody's phone and all that shit. Like live stream it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
like
awesome.
I watch a lot of those like on Facebook, like when Kevin Smith is like live Facebook feed, and I'm like, oh shit. Then I'll just tune in.
Yeah.
Like I just watched the
He's
one where he's at
nuts,
Hot
dude.
Topic. So that was pretty good.
Did you
He's
see him
fucking
on
crazy.
Colbert, by the way?
Oh yeah, he's such a little. I love Kevin Smith so much.
Colbert, I just watched this. Colbert was just like he grabbed like his coffee mug and it's just like just listening to him because he knew
I
he was
love
just
it,
going to
dude.
talk and talk and talk. Kevin Smith, he
Uh,
seemed really nervous too. Like he was like, "Oh, I'm on Colbert."
He's just a
ah."
fan, dude. That's what's great about Kevin Smith.
Yeah,
He's a fucking fan.
yeah,
And like he is just as like giddy as we would be. Like if we met him, that's like how he is meeting anyone that he looks up to. You know,
yeah. He's just like us. He's like the friend that made it.
Superhouse
Yeah.
podcast goals. Get Kevin Smith on this shit.
Basically, I would love to do that, man. He's hardly
That'd be
ever.
awesome.
He's hardly ever on any podcast, any other podcast that's not his own,
Yeah.
as far as I can tell.
He has his own network. You should see if we could get under his network. Be on the
Yeah.
Smodcast network.
Man, that
That'd
would be
it.
insane, man. That would be the best. I actually,
Smodcast
I'm not going to go into
numbers.
details, but I have some connection, some very like outer circle of Kevin Smith's circle,
Oh, yeah.
and
Andrew, stop
I've been
te-
trying to make
stop
contacts
teasing
with
me.
them.
You stop teasing me right now. Don't
Even if I
appreciate
made contact with them, I don't think that we would be part of the Smodcast network immediately or anything.
It's like the dude running up his mixtape to Kanye West or something. Like, listen to our shit.
Yeah, it would be like me meeting one of his other people,
Yeah.
and then
I'm just,
You got 20
I
minutes.
would say, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yes. I would. Yeah. I'll fly out for that 20 minutes.
we'd be like, hey, we had Adam Carolla on here, which I still can't believe. I look back on that, I'm like, wow, we had a fucking celebrity on this thing.
Yeah.
We gotta do that shit again, man. I think I'll
dude.
be able to do that via Riot Sickler again, which would be another comedian. Maybe not as big as Adam Carolla, but it would be somebody,
Cool.
you know, that's doing something. the
Sweet.
the whole call-in thing to Google Hangouts also is like a plus because you could just do it from anywhere.
Yeah.
You know. Let's see. Any closing comments on Ghost and filming ideas?
I can't wait the fuck to get to LA. That's for sure.
We're gonna lose our minds. Actually, Johnson's not here, but did you guys want to like help me out with any videos that I could do in Italy and Rome in November?
Is this your first time there?
Yeah, which is part of the struggle here because I I've been interested in going to Italy, but like going to Tokyo, I know the area and has a very strong nerd culture already,
Yeah.
right? So it's you can find stuff that's easy to film for Superhouse, but Italy, I found that video game museum
Yeah.
and like it shouldn't just all be video game shit, but it's got to have like kind of like our slant on it.
Yeah, I would just say, I don't know if you can email someone at the video game museum or whatever, see if you can get that definitely locked down. You can at
Right.
least talk to someone, or I don't know if there are any like used game stores or any cool stores that you can like
You should look up French comic book stores.
French.
Yeah, there's like Black Sad, Metabarons is like Spanish or French or something. There's so many good French comic book artists, man, and so many good comic books. That come out
Manga
of there.
sells the most in France out of any other European country.
Really?
Yeah, the French really like comics.
Yeah. There's some
I
great
would just say-
Milo Manara, fucking Eduardo Rizzo. No, he's Spanish, but Easter
I
in
would
Europe. I don't know.
But I'm going to be in Italy, bro. So that's
All
maybe I
right.
can find some Italian shit. But I'm going to be basically in Rome probably 90% of the time. I might take a day trip to Florence.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. It's the week of Thanksgiving.
What are you going for?
I'm going just to go. Like I found a cheap ticket online, and I scour the internet sometimes when I have free time at work and shit.
Yeah.
Plus, I've been in Japan like a lot at this point, so I wanted to go somewhere completely new.
Yeah.
And the
I just say
Coliseum
film
seems cool.
everything, man. Like, I
Yeah,
have a set idea of like the game museum or whatever, but I mean I've never been. I want to see Andrew's take on it. I mean you might see the
Yeah.
touristy shit, but you might go to some place like I would say try to choose some of the like out of like off the wall places, some of the weirder places that we don't know about. I don't know if you know anyone who's been there, or I don't know.
I
I
might
don't know if Eric
be able to
has
hook
been
that
there,
up.
but I can talk to Eric and see if he's been, because he might know some shit.
That's a good idea.
He gets around Europe so much, so I don't know where he's been and where he hasn't been. But I just say film it all, man. Just like see what you get when you get back. Cut something together, you know. I mean,
Yeah, the basic idea right now is to film that video game museum and then also, of course, film like the Coliseum and other stuff and kind of like throw it all together like a nerd travel video, kind of.
You should reference
I-
Way of the Dragon.
I'm just gonna throw this out as a video idea: A Drunken Night in Rome, starring Andrew Buck.
He'll get mugged.
Just see what. Nah, that's fine.
Probably will.
Dude, I was over there for a month and nothing but drunk, and I never
Oh,
got
really?
mugged. Yeah.
But have you been
I slept in a doorway in France. Eric left me and then found me in the morning.
Oh,
And I was like, I looked up at him. I was like, it's morning. He's like, I didn't leave you. I was like, you left me.
They're like stupid American.
People who didn't leave
college
people don't start off
boys.
their sentences with, I didn't leave you. That means they left you. But yeah, and I
He was
still
just
have
like
my
trying to
wallet.
pass that off.
I mean, do it with some people you know or like some people you've connected with or something. But
Well, we're gonna, hopefully get an appearance from Johnson there as well. So maybe
Oh,
some
God.
shit's gonna happen. We'll see.
a night out with Johnson and Bush.
Yeah, so that's
Some
gonna
pretty
be.
music playing, some Italian like romantic
Bre-
music, and
breakfast
then
at
it's just
Tiffany's.
debauchery. It's just debauchery for the rest of the video.
I've gotten drunk with Johnson a couple times in Japan, and that shit was hilarious and great.
I can't wait for that video. I'm excited.
There's this one time. This is a quick story, but that one time in Shibuya, which is in Tokyo, we were like drinking, and Johnson was there. He was visiting from Korea, and it's weird, dude. Like when you're like a foreigner in Japan, you just meet random people, and you all group up and you all like go to karaoke or somewhere together randomly, totally randomly. Never, it would never happen here. And we got a big group, but there was one dude that was like super douchey. We figured this out kind of midway through, and Johnson was just like giving everybody the looks, like, "Hey, let's get this, let's take this, let's just leave this guy here." So we just left this guy on the street, and we all took a taxi somewhere else. Totally stranded that guy.
Sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah, that shit was hilarious. I mean, he would have been fine, but it was just, yeah. Um, but yeah, we'll see what happens in Italy. I'm kind of forming the ideas now, and your guys' ideas are really good as well. I'd like to see if there's like a difference in gaming between America and Europe. Know what I mean? Like, there's obviously one between Japan and America,
Yeah.
but with Europe, it's like,
Yeah. What
I
kind
don't
of
know.
video games do they like in Europe? Probably like Counter Strike.
I think it's more similar than Japan, but it's probably slightly different. I mean, Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed, they're a French company, I think,
Yeah.
and they're probably the biggest one. But there's some others, and what else? They're all around. There's probably a lot of smartphone game makers, but I think you'd probably see like stuff you'd expect, like more soccer game fans and Formula One game fans.
Yeah.
Uh,
Racing for sure.
yeah, I mean, Formula One's like the second biggest sport in Europe. I heard after continent wide.
Yeah.
Formula One's number two after soccer.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So yeah. So Maddie went to take a shit, and let's move on to the next topic. Let's. We wanted to move into. Let's make the video game section just about the third time about No Man's Sky, but I wanted to specifically. There's been like a huge drop off, right?
Yeah, it seems that way. People are like getting refunds back on the game apparently as of today. I read people are trying to like seeking out refunds for their
It's
purchase because it wasn't what was promised or whatever.
it's
And
been like 3 weeks since release, and it's just not what
yeah,
people wanted or
it's
whatever.
it's been up it's been updated 7 times with like little add-ons here and there, mostly bug fixes. It's a beta game. It like they got enough people's interest to get enough people's money in order to make a game that is like really great in concept, and it's like it's still fun. I still really like the game, but it could use with a little bit more. Because then you start asking yourself, like, how many of these planets am I actually gonna want to see before I'm like, fuck it, let's go to center of the universe, or, like there's a few objectives throughout that you can kind of decide you can do, but there's not. It's a really chill out game, you know what I mean? It doesn't.
Do you understand the drop off? You can kind of see that happening.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like people are turning their backs too early on something that is still trying to find itself because what it's showing us now is the state of like video game technology in the home. Like I have like really old power outlets, and I have like well, regardless, it's not a good setup enough to think you can run something like streaming a game into your house or something like that, or having updates constantly coming through. So now I
Right.
think they're seeing how like we don't really need the discs anymore, to be honest. Like they're just running patches over a piece of software that could be transferred anyway.
Right.
So it's like it's good for them at this point because it's such a fantastic game that it seems like they left some room for error so they can hone in on what people might want. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite them in the ass because it seems like the backlash to me seems a little extreme. But I think in time it will lead to something good.
Do you think it'll ultimately become like an indie, kind of a bigger
Yeah,
indie
it'll be
hit?
one of those games. I think it tried to tap into the Destiny audience maybe a little too much, maybe,
Okay.
and or maybe not even that, but maybe it tried to tap into a market that wasn't solely its demographic, and it is more of an art game than it is like uh, an objective game. In that way, it's like kind of like a simulator. It's a fantasy simulator of for the most part realistic physics and the interesting like way that the game maps out terrain and stuff like that, which you do end up seeing, but because the game is so big, they're starting to see uh, more things that could have been more of, and then more things that need to be fixed, and more things there could be less of. Um, so I was reading the list of suggestions for that the other day that seemed okay. Just like have more interactivity with the world. I think people want, even down to like having control of your ship enough so that you could crash it. I
There was
wish it
a
was.
mod for that, right? There was somebody cracked it on the
Yeah, I'm
PC
sure.
version.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I got a fucking PS4, man. I think that too. I'm like, just let me fly through that. There's like a piece of terrain that makes like a loop or something or a canyon, and you want to fly through it. And you almost can because it's such a beautiful game. With the patches that have been put on now, it's gotten better looking. I played it even before the very first patch. The launch patch was and people are going to be saying this shit like this a lot. Like I played it way before fucking whatever. But there were significant changes from the launch patch into like the third and fourth and fifth. It looks way better than. I just would say don't give up on this game right away. But it's a slow burn. Like I haven't. I've taken long breaks from it, and I've played it for really long spans of time. So I'm hoping they add more shit with patches and stuff, and kind of gauge what the fans might want, as well as keeping their concept intact.
Maddie, what'd you think? I mean,
Um,
like as far as the drop off is concerned.
I mean, I think it's unwarranted. Just people's reviews of this. I don't I didn't really like follow it very much. I just knew about it, and what I got when I put the game is what I expected. I don't know what people are expecting from this game. I mean, it's not like Activision or like a big fucking company made this shit. It's like 15 dudes, making a game that they thought would be interesting, and it is interesting. It's not like anything else out there. The thing I like about it is the exploration aspect. I don't really like anytime like a something occurs that I have to fight something. I almost feel I'm almost like when I'm playing it, I'm like I don't want to fight anything. I just want to see stuff. Which I feel like most games I play is like I'm consistently fighting stuff all of the time. I'm running into an area, I have to fight it automatically. It shows up red. It's a bad guy. It's kind of nice just to like explore. I haven't played it in a while. I've been trying to read a lot more because I spent a lot of time playing video games, and I've only read like 4 books this year, and I usually try to read like 25 to 30. So I was like, oh shit. Um, but I haven't played it since the new patches have gone. I'm kind of trying to wait till maybe a couple more patches go in just to see, like, jump back into it and see what's changed. Um, I like it though. I'm kind of with Stefan on it. I don't feel like people should forget about this or be trading it in or getting their money back. I feel like it's going to be a cult classic of a game, and I feel like maybe it's not for this generation, but I feel like it'll probably be looked
Yeah.
upon by other generations as something that was way ahead of its time and will be played, and we'll be old men and people will be like, Grandpa, have you ever played No Man's Sky? I remember when I bought it the day of. Here's the receipt. The
Once,
No Man's
once,
Sky you're playing isn't anything like the No Man's Sky I played. So I don't. I mean, I just I think there's a lot they can do with it, and especially with like the way video games are today. You could they could change it. They can give you the. It could be to the point where each whatever experience a person wants they can find, and hopefully they can get to that point. Because I feel like Stephen was saying, you don't really need the game disc anymore. It's not like the game you buy is not the game you could ultimately end up with playing, because there's so
yeah,
much patches, so much stuff done to it to make it different, to make it look better. Like I kind of like go back to Eco and Shadow of the Colossus. Those games are self-contained. There's nothing they can do with those. Um, so it's kind of interesting to see what they'll do with The Last Guardian, since there are all these updates. Like, is
yeah,
that going to be a self-contained game, or is that going to be something that can be added onto? But also too, I think when you look at No Man's Sky, you see the cover art, you see the what the game looks like, you have to know you're going into a different game than fucking Call of Duty. Like this is definitely like it looks pretty. It's an art game, you know. It's I feel like video games they all have this look, and you have to do this certain thing, and you forget that they're an art form. They are an expression of a team building them because everybody wants the next blockbuster. They want the next, you know, God of War, Gears of War,
Well,
Call of
Stefan said
Duty.
something really interesting before. Like he said that like while the game like these games, a lot of games are trying to copy cinema.
Yeah,
Those are really good. I mean, we all like those games, but you know, for a game to kind of lean into what the medium is more without trying to copy
Yeah,
another medium,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
To
there's
me,
worth in
it
that.
seems more akin to read. Sorry, it's more akin to reading a book in the way that I like spending time with it, I guess, you know. And there's like the best thing about this game is where you end up finding yourself and like the thoughts that I end up having while I'm playing it. So it's been there's so much potential there. Is that I feel like once we get to VR, you know, No Man's Sky will make a lot more sense because
yeah.
it's a simulation unto itself, but it's lending all these ideas, just throwing them out there for that era of gaming to come in and like sweep that up and like VR is gonna change everything, man.
It's just like I mean, I kind of look at it as like when you go to a movie, like you should probably research. Like I remember a good example was like when I went and saw Tree of Life by Terrence Malick. A lot of people walked out of that. The people I was sitting next to just like were fidgety and huffing and
Yeah,
puffing throughout
it's
the
an
entire thing.
expectation thing.
And it's like, what the fuck? It says Terrence Malick, it says Tree of Life, and I know Brad Pitt's in this shit, but you should know that this shit is gonna be an hour and so long, but it's gonna feel like it's 3 fucking hours long.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
should know how a fucking Terrence Malick movie works at this point.
And
Like
you
you
don't have a
have to
lot
do
of
this research. And No Man's Sky is like that. It's like 2001. That movie's not super easy to set through, but people sit through it and they're like, this shit is fucking brilliant. Or any of those movies that you have to fucking give yourself to like get the experience out of. Not like every film is a fucking, you know, comic book movie where you can just sit down, have a good time, and walk the fuck out of it. You know?
There was a really bad example
stuff that sticks with you.
when Drive came out. There was supposedly this woman that like wanted to sue the theater because it wasn't like a Fast and Furious type movie.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
mean,
that
I would like when I saw that movie, I read the book and it was different from the book, but I didn't sue anybody. So
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I
It
thought
has
that
to
was
do with
such a great movie, man.
it has to do with like, the expectations that people get from like the marketing of
yeah,
these movies and sometimes they're so far off base that it creates like these little like cult films out of
yeah,
these things, but they're controversial because people it wasn't what they expected to get. And like the movies you were mentioning in comparison to No Man's Sky, there's not a whole lot of video games you can compare to those types of movies because as great as video games are and as many like experiences as we can have through those games and stories and different franchises and stuff, we don't have too many of them that are like, you know, comparable to like Moby Dick or something like that. You know, we just have a bunch of Batman Begins and a bunch of, you know, the good shit. But
well, yeah, like No Man's Sky is a different game for people who might not be ready for it. It's like nothing. Like I can't
right,
think of
yeah.
anything that
Yeah, that's
just
true.
like doesn't have like this game. I mean, it has an end if you want it to, but it for seemingly it is never ending. You can play this game forever. You know, I don't feel like there's anything that's. I mean, maybe like World of Warcraft or something like where you just continue to play for hours and I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just like it's like it's a different game for different type of people, and I think the people who are getting it got in on the hype did
Yeah.
like might have been Destiny fans, might have been like, and I like these games too. I'm not saying any of this is wrong for you to like, but No Man's Sky just might not be your game. Like it's not a Fallout game. It's not it's not Doom.
Yeah.
It's not Dark Souls. It's a totally different breed in
It's kind of like an RPG for
itself.
the non-RPG crowd. You
Yeah,
know, it has you do just enough things to kind of get the idea of what could be possible with like a mining and crafting. Because I think a lot of people want a lot more of that. Um, and just a lot more freedom to interact with characters and stuff. And
Yeah.
because mostly like one of the things I read is like, or what you see while playing the game is like most characters are like sitting down or just standing stationary, which is cool because I think it lends to the aesthetic. It's kind of like an old Super Nintendo RPG,
Yeah.
but it would be nice if there was more variety there in actions or occupations. Like imagine if you walked up to some being just standing outside, like working on one of these shelters or whatever that you see everywhere, these little factories or way stations or whatever they are. There's just
Yeah.
so much potential here that I think, like, yeah, maybe it's like it's too much for people to. No, I don't know. It seems like on one hand there's like so many options, but then on the other hand there's certain things are limited. So maybe it needs room to grow. And for people to be getting like refunds and shit back on it, like it's just $60, man. Like, however, I do agree with that in some sense because pre-orders do, your pre-order doesn't promise you a good game. It doesn't even in this case and many other cases promise you a finished game. So all these pre-orders are pumping money into the video game industry, but what the fans are actually reaping is subpar gaming experiences that
It's
had
just
so much potential.
there's no like shooting in the game though, right?
Just in, yeah, I
Some
mean they're
shot things.
shooting. Yeah, they're shooting and you can make your guns pretty powerful too, but it's not it's more like, it is more like Star Trek in that sense where it's more about the exploration and discoveries, like the things you come across really do consistently surprise you even though you've gone from planet to planet to planet. Like after 25 warps or something like that, it's just like what am I doing with myself? Like
Yeah.
what even is this existence of just jumping from, why didn't I just stay on the first planet? You know, it brings up interesting emotions for sure. And so I think maybe some people weren't able to confront some of those things because it immediately starts to have you dwell on like your existence and your survival and stuff like that and what is necessary. But there's not enough incentive, like an emotional incentive, to pull some people through this 18 quintillion planets or whatever it is. It'd be nice if there was something personal about that part of the experience because that would guide people directly through space. If you had some purpose, even if it was like building bases or setting up colonies or something
Yeah.
like that,
I think that
generations
would
could
be cool.
pass. That would be fucking awesome. You just see how things grow. Come back to it, No Man's Sky 2 or Every Man's Sky.
That's the thing about No Man's Sky. I don't need a part two. It's just like just call it No Man's Sky and just add on to it.
Yeah,
Like,
just work on it.
okay, this patch is you can gather materials to build your own colonies. Like I think a big thing would be at this point, like I said, I think in the last podcast would be to make it where I can meet Stefan or Andrew out
Yeah.
in this universe and be like, hey guys, come
Have a
check out
little
my colony. I
adventure.
have a bunch of like shit here, and it could be us just exploring a planet and like running into some like wildlife that fucking hates us or something. It's just like,
Yeah.
and I mean even like maybe an enemy or something, but like not that you would run into them all the time. But like I kind of go back like just thinking about this game. I think about Serenity and like the Reavers and stuff when they're flying through that like um, when they're flying through all that debris in that
Yeah.
one part, and it's like you don't know who's the bad guy and then like all the ships come after him, and like, leads to the finale of the film. But I just like something like that. Just there's little things you can do to make this game better, or just add to it. I don't know. I mean, I still feel like it has a lot of room to grow. I don't feel like the makers of it are done. I'm sure they had a lot of ideas, and hopefully they can. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still pretty early into it, so I'm also not a person that games like hours upon hours every day for the most part. So
Yeah, I have to take breaks, especially with a game like this, because there's so much you could do. And just thinking about it is just kind of daunting sometimes, and that's what makes it challenging in a lot of ways. It's like, how much of an explorer are you? Like, how far do you want to go?
yeah,
You know,
I
the one thing that makes Star Trek cool is that there's always them chasing into the unknown. I feel like if somehow things got stranger and stranger, which they do at points, but
yeah.
not enough of it to make it feel like you're interacting with an actual world. It seems like the illusion is pretty easily broken.
I actually posted in the Star Trek subreddit about No Man's Sky,
Yeah,
and usually, people say that like they're afraid of redditors, You know, like they're really like tough crowd
Yeah.
usually, but like I was upvoted a lot, and I wasn't even part of that community really online. And it was like 50 comments. Like it really got them talking. Like
Yeah.
No Man's Sky like really hit a chord amongst Trekkies.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Definitely, because it's like it feel almost sometimes what I'm thinking about is like this is the very beginning. If you've watched any kind of Star Trek series, it's pretty much laid out, out there discovering the unknown, new planets, new civilizations and shit. But this is like the very beginning. This is like somebody thinking like, hey, what if we unified all these races and all these people that we interact with, which so far in No Man's Sky you can't interact with many people, because it would be nice to trade with other people and like kind of barter with other people or even talk to them with your microphone and be like, well, like where'd you come from? Where are you going? The potential of interactivity between these games is just we're just scratching the surface. I feel like.
Yeah. It's not even saying that No Man's Sky is going to do this or do those things, but I feel like it's the
Well, it
step
puts
in
those
the
ideas in your
direction.
head.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it could. I don't know. Just don't return your games. Just hold
Yeah,
out for a little while longer. I'm sure things will get better. Um,
I'll probably pick it up on that first price drop.
yeah,
yeah, I
be a
mean,
good idea.
the way things are going, it's probably going to happen sooner or later. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see. I'm gonna get it then.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's too early to just like give this game away or go into GameStop and request the fucking refund or whatever. It's like you made your choice. Just fucking live with it, man. Everybody makes choices every day, and they have to live with them. It's like it's just like Stephen said. It's $60. There are worse things you could be doing with your life than buying a $60 game, and thinking it's boring. So I don't know.
I like that it's different and they took kind of a risk, and I don't know. I think ultimately it's gonna end up in a good place in gaming history.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, any closing thoughts on that, dudes?
Nah.
Stop bitching about No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
This has been
Over it.
our own ongoing coverage of No Man's Sky,
But continue to dream big.
a game I have not even played, but I've been very interested in.
And then
Let's
we'll,
see.
we'll we'll do one more once Andrew gets it and can
Yeah,
play it.
one final one. One final one. Let's see. I kind of want to jump to the Justice League Dark director talk.
Yes.
So Justice League Dark, which is the team that's more magic based in the DC universe. Think Avengers, but with their magic characters such as Swamp Thing, Zatanna, Deadman, Constantine, Etrigan the Demon, and a few others. It depends on the series, I think.
Yeah.
Actually, them calling it Justice League Dark is a fairly recent thing. I think it came out with the New 52.
Yeah, it did.
They were teaming up a little bit here and there, but to actually call it Justice League Dark, that's like a new thing, which makes sense. It's cool. Um, anyway, Doug Liman is directing, which apparently he was pulled away from Gambit to do this one.
Yeah.
It looks like Gambit is a fucking mess. I think Channing Tatum's a great pick for that, and I like that he like gave a shit. It seemed like it was his idea to get Lyman on board and to push production back. That movie should have came out like November this year,
Yeah.
and they haven't even gotten past the script process. They lost their director. I'm turning this Justice League Dark into a Gambit conversation, but
That's fine.
but anyway, back briefly to Justice League Dark. I personally, I think Del Toro actually did write the script, or he wrote the first version of the script. So
Yeah.
I think that at least it will have a Del Toro touch. I hope.
That'd be
And
cool.
Lyman did Live, Die, Repeat, or Edge of Tomorrow, whatever you want to call
All
it.
you need is kill.
Yeah, All You Need Is Kill, and I thought that was an excellent sci-fi
The
movie.
book's fucking great.
I haven't read the book, but I like that. That was written by a Japanese author too, so that's cool. But uh, what did he do first? What did Doug Liman get famous for?
Born Identity.
Born Identity. So, yeah, so not quite so nerdy, but also but a good movie though.
Yeah.
Um,
Mr. and Mrs. Smith he also directed.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
really?
I think that we're in for some good stuff, and it'll be in the Jeff Johns era. And I'm personally looking forward to Swamp Thing the most. What do you guys have to say about all that?
I'll go.
Take it away.
I think he's not a good choice for it. I feel like you need like a Del Toro. I would really like to see a horror movie director do something with this. Um, I don't know, man. Like I've never seen him do anything really dark. I mean, I guess Edge of Tomorrow at some points gets pretty dark at some points, but I'm just afraid it's gonna be like I want to see like demon like I don't know like what the story is gonna be, but I feel with like Del Toro, you're gonna get a lot of mysticism. You're gonna get weird books and shit, and I feel like
Del Toro
calling
would have been better. He would have been better, but I'm
I just
not
feel like
totally
bringing him
against Lyman.
I just feel like bringing in Lyman, you're just gonna get like a straight up action movie.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what concerns me. It's like I want to see the magic, like what we're gonna get with like. I mean, Doctor Strange will be out by then, so maybe we'll learn something. Like I want to see a lot of magic. I want to see, I want to see like horror stuff. Like that's what Justice League Dark is. They like come in to deal with the magic shit that the normal Justice League has no. Like they don't even know what to do. It'll be interesting to see the animated movie, which will be out before it, just to see like how dark it goes. But if you're like gonna have like the demon in it and shit like that, like it's gonna have to go to some like horror movie levels, Like Swamp Thing isn't like I just feel like it's gonna be like super bright and it's just not gonna have the look that I want. Not even that like I mean Del Toro can get there and I think he would have done a great job, but it's just like just watching like Don't Breathe by Fede Alvarez, like I think he has a great visual style. I think he would have been great for this movie. Like the guy can write. He wrote a great fucking remake of Evil Dead. No one thought it could be done. It's gory as shit. It's a totally different story. It goes above and beyond my expectations of what like because Evil Dead to me is like a horror comedy, and this is just like a straight up fucking horror movie. And then just seeing Don't Breathe is also just a great little like home invasion horror film, which is great. We don't see like especially with the twists in it. But he gets those darks and just like takes it to those places, and that's what I think Doug Liman is not gonna get. Like they're getting someone who can make a solid action movie. Like it'll get people who don't know what Justice League Dark is, or even who give a shit about the characters to come in and see it. You know. I also feel like he's probably like I think one of my biggest beefs might be that like Matt Ryan won't come back to be Constantine, that they'll cast a lot of big actors to play these roles. And I'm just like, no, this needs to be like that's why I want like Del Toro or like a horror movie director to cast like kind of unknowns or people who are up and coming because I don't really need to see like Brad Pitt be Constantine or
I
whatever,
mean, yeah, it'd be interesting if they like made James Wan the director of this, but I don't see
Well, I love that
Lyman
he's doing
ducking
Aquaman.
out.
Yeah, I just see like that's why I love that James Wan got Aquaman. Also, Spider-Man: Homecoming is directed by a guy who made a movie called Clown, which I haven't seen yet. It was about a dad who puts on a clown costume that basically inhabits his body, and he becomes an evil fucking clown who kills children. Like this is the guy you're getting to make the new Spider-Man movie. Like these are cool choices. Like people who can get to go to those dark places and make up these weird, and like I don't need that for Spider-Man, you know. But I would love because like the ocean scares the shit out of me. That's why I love that James Wan is doing fucking Aquaman.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he's gonna do some weird fucking shit with that Aquaman movie. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be action packed. It'll probably have some scares in it that people don't see coming, which I think will be great. Just to give like, but I don't think Doug Liman is the right person to do this movie. Like when you said like when it was announced, I was like, oh, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I remember
Like
your reaction. Yeah.
I was just like, no. Like out of all the people, like and Doug Liman at this point, you have to pay that motherfucker some decent chunk of change to make a fucking movie, probably. He's made
Yeah.
good movies. They've made shit tons of money. Like, why wouldn't you have cast like a smaller horror director that had really great ideas, like the guys who are doing like the Blair Witch remake, like who did The Guest and You're Next? Great fucking directors. Probably would make a fucking killer ass Justice League Dark movie. Like I don't know. I just feel like it's a wrong choice. I think they should have went a horror movie route, or because it's like to see what's going on with like Marvel now is like they've taken a lot of comedy, people who've written a lot of comedy to come in and make changes to scripts or even direct these movies, and it's been great. So why wouldn't you choose someone who would be right for this film, someone who directs horror? I mean, not to say that Doug Liman's Justice League Dark could come out and I'd be like, you remember fucking a year ago on August 28th, Superhouse podcast number 26, I was fucking wrong as shit.
Yeah.
But I my first reaction I have to go with is like I don't think he's a good pick. I think Del Toro would have been great. I also think they probably wanted a lot of changes from Del Toro's script that he didn't want to make and just ultimately dropped out because it wasn't going to be the movie he wanted to make. So, like, what does that say about getting Doug Liman in? That he's like a yes man who will make the movie they want? Is that a good direction? How much is Jeff Johns going to have to do with this movie? Like,
Everything, I think. I think he's
I
heading up
mean,
everything that gets made so far.
so I
I
mean,
mean,
maybe it'll be
until
good.
from
Maybe
now
it'll be
on.
fine. Maybe it'll be like Lyman's like, oh shit, I never saw the side of him before, and his Swamp Thing was fucking kick ass. I don't know. It'll be interesting, but I just don't. I could think of other like other directors I would have liked to have seen made this movie over.
Yeah, a horror
Um,
director would have been preferable, of course. Do you think that if they do Etrigan, will he be CG like a Groot or something, or will he be a guy in a suit like Killer Croc?
I don't know. I mean, I'd like to see a practical suit. I think it's done. I mean, I like the Hellboy look. I also think Hellboy probably could have used a little CG to maybe give him those like I love the design of Hellboy in the comics, so I would have liked to have seen more of that. But I like the practical. I don't know. I'm not even worried about the demon. I've like my focus is on Swamp Thing. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel if it's too CG, it won't look cool because I need that practicalness of like a man in a suit but like covered in like fucking swamp,
Plus, like a tall green guy, it might seem very similar to Groot to a lot of people.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like I definitely think they have to like there's that like that CG of him walking that's been released.
Yeah,
I definitely think they have to go that bigger, bulkier route with him.
yeah,
I definitely think they have to like kind of play off some of the old Swamp Thing where it like looks like his face is more of a skull. Because I mean, Swamp Thing's not like like Groot is kind of like when you look at Groot, you're kind of like, oh, that Groot's kind of cute. He's kind of a weird looking creature, but like I've seen worse looking creatures. Like you can kind of and like plus Groot is already established at this point of being like kind of a nice, he's there to help out the crew.
yeah.
He sacrificed himself ultimately to save them. So Swamp Thing, you're going to get something different with. He is there to save the like. He is only there for the swamp and the word like the environment basically a Swamp Thing. So he doesn't want to harm. So you're going to get this different kind of being altogether. So I don't really think they'll be like people will probably draw comparisons, but I don't know. Like you shouldn't. Swamp Thing can be good. He can be bad. I would like to see maybe them kind of fight Swamp Thing in the beginning, but then ultimately have to join sides with him to take out a bigger threat.
I haven't read the Justice League Dark uh, run, but I was at a panel one time, like 2 or 3 years ago, where they were explaining it, and they said that like in Justice League, Superman and Batman more or less, sort of, kind of smoothly form the Justice League. They get together,
Yeah,
and it's like it's a common cause, and it's kind of what you expect. But Constantine is the head of Justice League Dark, and he cons them all.
yeah.
He tricks them all
I
into
mean,
joining. Have you read it? You've read it?
I have not read the Justice League Dark stuff. I was trying to find it, and many times it got bought out from under me when I was working at Half Price Books. The only thing I know is the first Justice League Dark that came out. This guy was writing I Vampire, which is a cool comic, and so he tied in Justice League Dark to the I Vampire universe. Um, so like their first villains in the first volume are like the bad guys in the I Vampire. Like the Justice League has to come in and help this main character in this comic defeat like the ultimate evil vampire.
Right.
So I don't know what they'll be going off of. That's all I know of the first volume. But second volume, I think Jeff Lemire came in to write it, and I know it took a different change of like what they were fighting and like what. So I haven't read those, but just like on characters by themselves, like Constantine, like got to be an asshole, man. Like
Yeah.
it's got to be, he has to be using everyone in this group for his ultimate gain.
Right.
So I think the movie has to be set up that Constantine is in a pickle, has to get out of it. The only way he knows to get out of it is to get this other random cast of characters.
Yeah, I
So,
think that could be like the main difference. Like the Avengers have obviously a lot of infighting, but
well, I
you
mean, it's
know,
called Justice League Dark, so it's definitely got to be darker. It's got to be. I'm
yeah,
not saying it needs a R rating or anything, It's just, you got to throw some f bombs in there. You got to have a shitty British guy as the leader who doesn't want to be the leader.
They need to
You
just
know,
make it like Monster Squad, dude, just with
shit. Yeah.
all the Justice League Dark characters.
I think like hopefully if they use some of Del Toro's script or get a good writer in there, it'll be fine. I just think visually that Doug Liman isn't the best choice for it. But that's me. I mean, my vision of what a Justice League Dark, like just with the Swamp Things I've read throughout my years, like the Alan Moore stuff to like Scott Snyder stuff, to some of the Constantine stuff I've read. It's got to be darker, man. It's got to have that gritty feel to it, and I'm just afraid he got chose to be pulled off Gambit or whatever to make a more socially acceptable Justice League Dark,
Possible. I
which
mean, Del Toro has so much pull, and
it's
if they were
weird that
connecting
like
it with if they ran like a similar marketing campaign that they did with Suicide Squad, it would have made a lot of money. I mean, they were
dude,
so it seemed like there was so much money put into that marketing for Suicide Squad. Seems to be paying off though. I mean, they just got knocked to number 2 because of Don't Breathe this weekend.
good, I'm glad. But yeah, like the thing is, like the whole setup for fucking Suicide Squad would have made a great fucking Justice League Dark movie. And it's got a
Yeah,
Enchantress
yeah,
as a villain. Are you fucking kidding me? Some
yeah.
ancient fucking magic that like that's the thing that bugs me the most about Suicide Squad. And I've said it before. Is like I don't get fighting magic with guns. It just doesn't make sense to
I
me.
know that's when like Katana should have had a much bigger role, and that
Yeah,
Soul Taker sword
Katana would
like
have been better in a
would have
Justice
been.
League Dark movie.
You know what? It'd be cool to see her like kind of show up and show the Soul Taker sword more. Like if they want to mix all these characters in and also diversity, like
Yeah.
that's definitely something that could work. Plus, they would need to release this thing around Halloween, man. I mean, fuck, just lean into the horror aspect a little bit. The monster aspect.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad they're deciding instead of just doing this animated film, which I'm super excited to see that. I'm glad that they'll be like, because if there's anything I want, it's what I want DC and like not necessarily Marvel because I can't think of any Marvel characters right offhand that are like big like supernatural like based off monsters from like horror films or anything like that. But
It
I
would
would
be you
love
would be
this.
getting into their magic universe with Doctor Strange and maybe Thor. Like there's a whole like magic. They all blend, of course, but there's like a magic side of Marvel,
Yeah.
the cosmic
But
universe or some shit.
the thing I want from Justice League, basically what I want is an Animal Man movie based off the Jeff Lemire run. It's so good. It's so family oriented, but it's so fucked up and like it's like, dude, it's like superhero movie meets like fucking Hellraiser. It's so fucked up. It's so good. Like that's what I want. And then like Swamp Thing comes in it, and then they cross universes. Like you had to read the comic book simultaneously.
I heard that
Um,
actually. I want to read that. You have to read them like back to back, kind of.
yeah, well, basically like an Animal Man. Like there's these like beings from like so Swamp Thing is like green and lush, and he keeps everything lush and perfect,
Right.
And then there's this thing called the Rot, which is everything that's rotten, like dead animals, and these are basically your villains for the Swamp Thing slash Animal Man universe. So Animal Man can be call upon. He's basically Beast, like he's kind of like Beast Boy, but he can't like turn into them. He can just draw upon their powers and maybe manipulate his body a little bit. But it's about him not wanting to be a superhero anymore. He's become an activist for animals, and he's become an actor to make more money because making money as a superhero fucking sucks because you don't really make any. So
Yeah,
he's like a
I
pretty
think I've
decent
read that
actor,
part. Yeah.
and so he's trying to make money for this cause and like so and what happens is his daughter gets his ability. She doesn't know how to use it, so he's trying to teach her how to be like the next animal lady or whatever. But there's also the Rot that come in and they're trying to like get Animal Man and all this shit and like get his daughter because she is like the chosen one in this Rot world to bring them to this. It's like it's fucking weird, but it's so good. And it's like there's this like family mentality because like his wife doesn't have superpowers and his son doesn't, and it's like his son dealing with the fact that he doesn't have powers and his sister does, and like how his dad likes his sister more because it's like you don't see that in comic books, you don't see a family dynamic,
You're
and that's
really
what
selling this, man. I think I might actually pick this up.
It's a lot of fun. I read like 3 volumes. I haven't read everything because I think Jeff Lemire jumped off after a while to do something else. But I think he
Charles
jumped off.
Soule jumped on Swamp Thing, I think, after
Yeah,
him,
after Scott Snyder.
and they said
Um,
that was a good run as well.
yeah, I need to catch up on a lot of. There's just so much to read all the time in the comic book universe. It's hard to like keep up. If you like go a month without reading a comic, like anything, you're just lost. Like you, it's
What
just catch up.
I've always been a fan, kind of like a casual fan of Swamp Thing, but like other than like his powers and the way he looks and shit, and I know he's in love with Abby.
Yeah.
What's his like personality like?
Oh, I mean, he's the thing. Like, well, you should read Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. The way he
I
explains
have I've read that
well, you
actually.
know how he becomes is like he's kind of like a he's just there for the swamp to
He's just
save it. Like,
protector type
yeah,
guy.
like, and he has some remaining memories of who he was as a human, but basically his feelings are for the swamp. Like, if you hurt anything within his general vicinity, which I forget how far his powers can stretch, because it varies from like comic to comic. Like, he could feel like a tree being chopped down in fucking Chicago, but he's like from Louisiana. Like, that I get it, but like at the same time, it's like it's pretty like.
Yeah, don't they
But
say he could like kind of teleport via the green?
yeah,
Like he
like
he could actually like kill you because if he teleported to the flora in your stomach and
yeah.
pop out of your stomach alien style.
Yeah, like he has like I mean it just depends on who's writing the comic and stuff at the time and like what powers they decide to give him. But the Swamp Thing I like is the Swamp Thing that like basically ate the Doctor who he was and then turned him into what we know as Swamp Thing. So it has some idea of what it is to be human, but he doesn't necessarily know. Like it's like a new being because like in Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, all his like guts and stuff are made from like different kind of plants and shit, but it's just simulated into this human form. It was
Right.
some memory of who he used to be. Like so he's not like super smart or anything. I mean, I think there are different tellings. The Swamp Thing like is like he's human, then he like caught on fire, then the swamp saved him, and then like something he drank before. Like
It's
there's all
kind of
these
like a
different kind of
Beauty and the
versions.
Beast type of thing, right? But he can't
Yeah,
turn back.
yeah,
He's
he
like
can't turn
he's the
back.
beast that's always the beast, but that's an aspect of the story, right?
Yeah, the story I like is just this being that is fully the Earth, Mother Earth or whatever, just trying to protect it, and he doesn't really have any sympathy for the most part. But
Okay.
I feel like there is a human element to him. So I think that's why sometimes he's kind of like sometimes when you read like the Alan Moore stuff, he's almost like a villain at times because he's just killing people who might not know better. Like I mean,
Right.
like people are cutting down trees because that's their job, and he might destroy a whole construction crew because he doesn't take the time to tell them like, hey, this is wrong. You're hurting me, or you're hurting the world. Like he just destroys them because they're destroying him. So I mean, I think in a movie aspect, you'd probably have to humanize him a little more, just because you have Groot now, who is a tree
Yeah,
creature.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you'd have to like definitely have you like the backstory for him would probably have to be different from like what Alan Moore.
It would have
Uh,
to be like kind of like Groot, but more buff looking,
yeah.
and same height pretty much, and more kind of like a badass.
Well,
Like
I think
Groot, although he did like kill all those dudes with one fell swoop, and then smiled at the camera,
yeah.
but like he's
Andrew,
still
they're
something
knocked
very
out.
lovable.
They're just knocked out.
Oh, he impaled them, dude. Like they're
They're
gone.
knocked out. He didn't hit vital organs. It's
That shit
okay.
was that shit was fucked up. But that's James Gunn for you, man.
Yeah.
But fuck. Yeah, I mean, shit. I think just make him more of a badass, a little bit darker.
Well, I think the
Um,
thing too would be cool about
yeah,
Swamp Thing is like he could vary in size. Like he presents himself as a normal man or whatever, man size. But I would love to see just like him build himself up to like giant Swamp Thing or something. Just the way he's drawn in some of the new 52 stuff is great. Like when he gets mad, when he's like more angry, he gets bigger or something. Like they can do so much. That's the great thing about Justice League Dark and like some of this stuff is like just the trippy shit they'll be able to do with the camera. Because it's magic. You can just say, oh, why did Swamp Thing grow that big? Or like, why was this happening? Oh, it's magic.
right, right, right.
So it'll be interesting. That's why I'm excited to see Doctor Strange, is just because you get to see all this trippy shit. You don't have to explain it except with it's magic. And you're like, ah, yeah,
Yeah, I like the fact that with Doctor Strange, they're leaning into that drug culture from which that character seems to have been born from.
Yeah.
That 60s LSD trippy ass shit. Like you even see it kind of in the Marvel logo when that shit comes on, you know. And even Feige's talked about it, and yeah, man, it's gonna be nuts. I'm really looking forward to November. They say there's all these people complaining there's too many superhero movies, but like right now, since Suicide Squad's going and all that, like
Nothing.
I can't wait for November, man. I want
Yeah.
fucking Doctor Strange to come, dude.
Yeah. I
That
mean,
shit's gonna attract like all the Marvel fans, all the Inception fans, and all the Harry Potter fans, dude. I think Doctor
yeah.
Strange is gonna be fucking huge.
Yeah, I'm excited to see like I mean, obviously it's a Marvel film. People at this like by the time fucking November rolls around, everybody's gonna be fucking itching for this shit.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing like what comes out in between there.
No big superhero stuff. I think we're kind of in a dry spell until then.
Because then like after that, you have fucking Star Wars Rogue One that comes out in December.
That'll last for fucking goddamn 3 months. So until
I
March.
can't wait to talk about it for 3 fucking months.
I know we're gonna have every episode.
Dude.
We're gonna talk about that until Wonder Woman in May, I think.
Dude, fuck.
Yeah, that's in
I don't.
May.
It's
Justice League is in November of next year, so that's another big gap. But
And I also think the gap is a little more dry this time because I feel like we haven't had as many good films just in general
yeah,
coming out in between all this. I mean, there'll probably be some indie film that comes out that's probably pretty fucking awesome or something. But I don't know, man. It's like it's been a shitty summer for movies. It's like,
yep, it all happened in winter in May.
yeah, I mean, Civil
Deadpool and
War was
Civil
great.
War.
Yep.
I just saw that again, like half of it on the plane this morning. I flew in from Atlanta to LA this morning. That's why I look a little bit tired. But yeah, I got to the point where Tony Stark was taught like just had gone to Queens to talk to Spider-Man.
No, really?
So I saw basically half the movie, and that shit, dude, that was my third time watching it. It's so good.
Yeah. I can't wait for the release, the Blu-ray release. I want it. I need it.
September 23rd, I think. I
Yeah.
looked it up.
Need it. Wants it. Wants it all.
I just got Winter Soldier and Deadpool on Blu-ray
Yeah.
as
I have
well.
both of those.
I was watching the gag reel today for just before we started recording for Deadpool.
Yeah.
Shit was great, man. So good.
Yeah. Love me a gag reel, especially a good one.
Yeah. What's next on the agenda, man? Well, so we lost the sausage party talk cause
Yeah.
oh yeah, listener, we lost Stefan kind of midway because he was feeling a bit sick and he ducked out.
Yeah.
So now it's just me and Maddie. All right, so moving forward, let's see. Maddie, you saw Don't Breathe.
I did.
This has been the first horror movie in a while that has really intrigued me. Like that trailer caught my attention, dude. That was awesome. I
Yeah.
plan on seeing it soon, but what did you think?
I thought it was great. I hated the title.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
saw it and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch this trailer. And then I think Stefan and I watched it on a camera noise when we were doing like just experimenting with it.
yeah,
Um, and I was really taken away by it. I didn't realize it was by the director of the Evil Dead remake, which I thought was a fucking solid ass remake through and through. Uh, I never thought at any point I'd be scared by an Evil Dead movie just because they're fun and just kind of campy. But dude, there's some terrifying shit in that movie that I was just like, God, this is fucking. It's like The Exorcist in a fucking cabin, dude. Like, and the woods are part of it. It's just, first of all, wilderness kind of creeps me out just because I do watch a lot of horror movies and would never want to be out there alone, let alone with friends who are chopping each other up. So, great fucking remake. For people who say there are no good remakes, Evil Dead remake is great. So I was very interested to see what his follow up would be. Calling it Don't Breathe, I didn't really like, the title didn't catch me. But I was like, I like Stephen Lang. So I was interested, and didn't really know the rest of the cast. I think the one kid is kind of like kind of like, for lack of a better, like a teeny bopper kind of actor, I guess. But I watched the trailer and I was like, this looks fucking great. This looks terrifying. This looks scary. It kind of reminded me of like, what's the Zatoichi ripoff here, like Blind Fury with Rutger Hauer.
Dude, I saw that shit on HBO, man, like
Yeah,
way back in the day. I know
it
you're talking
reminded me
about.
of that, but like with a horror movie twist. So it's basically these kids break in this blind guy's house to steal this money he won in a lawsuit because his daughter got hit by a car by this rich family. So
It was a new take too, you know, like it wasn't like, you know, a guy in a mask with a machete. It was, you know, totally different. With like they could play a lot with like I'm assuming with all the sound effects or lack of, right?
well, dude, it's great. It's like probably the most silent horror film I've seen in a while. It's really great when the moment gets when like Stephen Lang's character, who is just called the blind man in the movie, just stops to listen because they have
Yeah.
to stop breathing like so hard, and like things happen to them where your breathing is more rapid or you've been hurt, so you're wheezing a little more, which all factors into how this guy is hunting them. Um, the movie's great though. A lot of twists, a lot of turns. I thought the twists were. The thing I liked about it was you'd get like a twist, and then you'd be like, all right, that's a pretty cool twist. And then they'd be like, oh, here's another one. You're like, oh, fuck. Just when I thought you couldn't ramp it up anymore, there's another one. Really great moments in it. Just when you think the characters are safe, they're never really safe. Also, the silence played into it, and this man knowing his house so well. There are a lot of moments when he's walking by and the characters are still, but he's very close to. It's a very tense movie throughout, which is great that they can keep that intensity up. I think it's like runtime is like an hour and 28 minutes. So, however, when I was in the theater, I had a pretty terrible experience. Most people were gonna go, "Oh, it was probably teenagers talking or laughing." It was not. It was a grown ass man. Instead of keeping his mouth shut, he would like do a nervous laugh anytime something intense was going to happen or was about to happen, and then he would like stomp his feet and giggle, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like I don't know, man. If I'm watching a horror movie, I need utter silence. Like I'm one of those people, like if it's fucked up, I'm like, oh shit, like under my breath, very very quietly, or I'll jump, and maybe make a little squealy noise, but it does not happen very often. But this was like every time any like big moment happened in it, or anything he liked that was about to happen, which kind of concerned me because there's some fucked up shit that happens, and he would be like getting giddy over it. And I'm like, I don't think those are the correct reactions to have while you're sitting next to your lady, and what's about to happen to said character.
So he was with his girlfriend or whatever.
I guess I don't know this person. I don't give like it just was there was a group of kids, like two groups of kids that came in. And I was like, oh fuck, they're gonna fuck this up for me. It's like 1:50 on a fucking like Saturday. They're gonna fuck this movie up for me. They didn't say a word. Just one grown ass man giggling and stomping his feet. And I was like, good. I was like, God damn it. You think you'd know. You think you would know to shut the fuck up and keep all that inside. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just old and don't like I just need my movies silent, except for whenever like when you get the gasps and the ahs and but like this like really took me out of the film, which sucks because I really enjoyed it. But would I have had a better time watching it if someone would have just been quiet? Probably.
Yeah,
But
I haven't had anything like that recently, but I think I have had movies ruined for me before. Can't think of anything specifically at the moment, though.
yeah, I was just like, dude, I don't know, man. I kind of compared it to my green room experience. Like there was a pretty intense part where someone gets pretty fucked up in green room, and like everyone was squirming, like like making the noise of like I can't watch it, but I can't turn away. But that was like the whole audience
Yeah,
making
yeah,
these
yeah, yeah.
reactions,
Yeah.
and that's great. Like I love that audience and But like at no point, like in Don't Breathe, not saying that it's any like, but it just didn't warrant the like. No one was gonna make that kind of reaction to what this guy was doing, and it kind of just, I don't know, man, just kind of put me off for the movie a little bit. Like afterwards, I had to think about it just because I was so just like, and this isn't like he did it twice. This is like, so you're watching a horror movie where this shit's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, like deaths are gonna happen, fucked up shit's gonna happen. I mean, it's the guy who did the Evil Dead remake, and people have already been talking about the twists and like some of the shit that happens. So this happens quite a bit through this movie. It like this was like 5-6 times of this happening. Trying to watch a film that is mainly pretty quiet for the most part, and just like, oh, dude, I don't know, man. I was like pretty upset after I got out of it, but like, it was a great movie. I recommend it to horror fans. I'm trying to think of if I haven't seen anything like it recently or really before. I'm sure someone out there could like probably reference a movie that's sort of like it, because there's shit tons of horror movies out there that they'll probably say was like an 80s grindhouse that was better or 70s grindhouse that was better. But for the most part of like the movie going experience now in like theater anyway, and not like trying to just like you know, rent it on iTunes just because that's the only way you can see it. It's pretty good, like for, you know, current horror today. So I recommend it. Thumbs up.
I'm definitely interested in seeing that. What comes out next weekend?
I don't know.
If there's nothing else playing.
Oh, Yoga Hosers.
Oh yeah, that's
That'll
probably going to take precedence actually, but
We
even
are
though it
some
has
Kevin
a
Smith
29%, but I got to see
Dude.
Kevin Smith films.
Dude, I don't even give a shit about like what like. I think getting in like after seeing Tusk and getting into this one and already knowing what it's about, like it's bratwurst Nazi soldiers, dude. Like what the like.
It's
I don't
nuts,
want,
right?
I don't know if I need this movie to have a 98%.
No, that would be weird,
Like-
actually.
I was like, if it gets a 30%, like that's why I want to go see it. You know, like I need it to be shitty. I need it to be campy. I need it to be, you know, I mean, I don't know. I always like Kevin Smith's dialogue, so it's never like a dialogue issue for me because I just like it. Like, I mean, watching him talk about anything is great. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see like how it plays out and stuff. We talked about this a little bit before we started about just like Kevin Smith's journey right now as a filmmaker has been fun to watch. And you know, once he gets this True North trilogy done or whatever, I'm excited to see what he does after. I'd love for him to tackle a comic book film.
His career has been so, I'll talk about that in a second, but his career has been so interesting because after Cop Out he started to hate movies and he wanted to just quit making movies altogether, and then he started smoking a lot of weed, did a lot of podcasts, had the great idea to make Tusk, I guess Red State first, and that Red State kind of started it back, and then Tusk also like really lit a fire under his ass because, you know, that's just such a weird fucking movie, and he got it from his podcast that he loves so much. And I listened to like at least 3 of his podcasts. I've listened to all of them. I can't really listen to like Tell 'Em Steve Dave.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like even like Jay and Silent Bob Get Old, that one's all right, but it's kind of the weakest one out of the ones with Kevin Smith in them.
Yeah.
Because Kevin Smith doesn't show up that much, if ever, in Tell 'Em Steve Dave. But anyway, with Yoga Hosers, I mean, with it being so off base and a movie that he made for girls, because it's you know, for his daughter, with his daughter, you know, the same, made a movie for the same age group that his daughter is, and Johnny Depp is in it, like that same character, Guy Lapointe. That guy he was fucking hilarious in Tusk.
Yeah, I know.
And I think it's great. I mean, the whole True North trilogy is going to be great, I think. I mean, with Moose Jaws up next, and I mean, hell, his TV career now at the Buckaroo Banzai and Flash and Supergirl and Mallrats as a whole series. Like, I don't know how good it's going to be, but he said it's going to be probably on Amazon or Hulu or Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Amazon, actually, because I think that I don't know, man. I think Netflix is like too highbrow for him at this point.
I mean,
I think Amazon would experiment more.
Yeah, I mean maybe. I mean Amazon needs some like. I mean I'm sure they have great shows on there, but like Netflix is killing it. They
Netflix
got
is.
Marvel, they got Stranger Things, they got House of Cards. They get like fuck. What I don't know what else the fuck they have. Probably something
Kevin
else I
Smith
haven't seen.
actually had that show Spoilers on Hulu. That was a Hulu original.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was fun. So that's actually a possibility. And the whole crew is back from the movie except for Ben Affleck, and he's not a guaranteed no. He might show up in a scene.
I mean, he
Uh,
wasn't even that big of a part in Mallrats anyway.
no, so it's interesting. At first, I was like, "Oh man, just make the movie, dude." But now I'm kind of interested in seeing it as a TV version.
Well, I will say this about Netflix. They did do Wet Hot American Summer First Day of Camp, which is not very highbrow. So I will not put it past them to put a
That's
Mallrats.
true. You're right
Which they
about
got
that.
Bradley Cooper back, which is a pretty big fucking star now.
You're right
I
about
mean, this
that.
dude's in fucking Academy Award winning fucking films, so, you
I
know.
would like to see it on anything. I will see that because Mallrats is like one of my top films from him. So
Did you watch the thing where he was talking about why Mallrats is becoming a TV show about like that producer that picked up, who actually did Mallrats because he couldn't buy Clerks from the Weinsteins or whatever?
I didn't hear that part. All I heard was
Oh,
that he. So Jason Mewes' wife runs like the Smodco website
yeah.
and does some producing work for him apparently. Without even telling him, she called on his behalf to the CW to see if he could direct The Flash,
Yeah.
and they loved the idea apparently, and he was like, "Damn, I didn't even know I could do this," because he had
Kevin
never
Smith
really
is
done
like,
TV. He
yeah.
just falls into this shit.
Yeah, I
So
know.
that happens, and then the whole like TV doors opened up for him after that, like the Buckaroo Banzai and all that,
Yeah.
Mallrats. So it's all from that Flash episode actually, which is crazy, but it worked.
Yeah. Well, apparently this producer, I think his name's like Jim Jacks or something, like died a couple years ago, and he made Mallrats with Kevin Smith.
Oh, he was the guy
And
that believed in Mallrats. He was like, "This is the future," right?
yeah, he's like, people won't get it now, like, because it bombed. Like,
Yeah,
people were just like,
yeah.
what the fuck is this shit? And
By the
he's
way, I
like,
saw it with
it'll
my
be.
whole family in the theater.
But he's like, and I guess like Kevin Smith after it bombed was like, he went to the guy's office and he said, he had these cards or whatever for like the next however many years of his life, and like in the future was Mallrats 2. He's like, are you fucking kidding me, man? Like, that's not gonna make any money. He's like, it didn't make money now, but this will be a cult classic. People will fucking love this movie.
Yeah, he called it.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, and so I guess so. This guy passed, and like Kevin Smith felt bad because he never got to like. I don't know. You got to watch like his little video thing about it.
I've seen him
So
talk. I've heard him talk about it on the podcast.
yeah, but basically, I guess it was just the right time that he felt like Mallrats should come back because he felt like it's something he needed to do for this guy. So, I mean, I'm happy. Like, I'd love to see. I mean, it's gonna be weird because if you get Jason Lee back, this dude's old now. It's like, what is he gonna be doing?
Plus, no one goes to malls anymore, really. And he
Yeah,
said it
well,
was
no.
Die Hard in a mall. He said it was going to kind of copy a lot of elements from Die Hard.
Yeah. Well, dude, I will tell you, working in a mall currently, people do go to the fucking mall in fucking
I've-
Ohio. Maybe not.
Sorry, man.
fucking
I
LA.
forgot you worked. I forgot you worked in one.
People fucking go in a mall, and it blows my mind. Like, just like, because I forget what it's like to be a teenager, not really allowed to go do anything. 'Cause
Right,
I've
right,
been,
right.
Like, I've been on my own since fucking college, like going, doing what I want, booking plane tickets to fucking LA. I don't have to tell my parents the shit I do, so they
I'm
know
a
where
grown
I
ass
am.
man.
Yeah, basically, like I can do this. I have money to do this now. So it's weird to see a culture of kids that was like probably me. They just go and hang out at the mall all day. You can eat there, you can watch movies. Like, you can't watch movies in mine, but you can go see movies there. You can basically do anything you want in the real world at a mall.
Right, right, right.
So it's gonna, like, I think it's a pretty interesting concept, especially like, I would say if he said it like in the time period that Mallrats was made, or something, like if he got a new cast of people, I don't think I'd care.
Yeah. No,
But,
it's the
like,
same
today-
cast, man.
But like, for like today's mall experience, it's gonna be funny to see the throwback to Mallrats with today's
Right.
culture. And like, if he's smart, that's what he's gonna do. I mean, like, I've heard him talk about yoga hosers and about like how he directed his daughter. he was like basically to her, and like Lily Rose Depp was like, well, you guys are fucking teenagers, so I wrote the script, so kind of like, if this doesn't sound like something you'd say, let's change it.
Yeah,
You know,
right,
so
right,
like,
right,
because he's
right.
not a teenager, like, how do you write as a teenager? So
He's open up about that. He was known as the director that he would not allow ad libbing on set. He was like, "This is my script. I'm sorry."
yeah,
And I think ever since him smoking a lot of weed and shit, and also with the nature of Yoga Hosers being like he has to write realistic teenage girl dialogue.
yeah.
I think he's definitely like kind of like loosened up about all that.
He'd have to. There's just like, I mean, even as like a 32-year-old, I don't know like all the shit teenagers are doing today.
It seems like it changes faster, man.
Well, like even working with like 20 somethings, I'm like, what was that abbreviation for? What was that? What does that stand for?
I like jelly on my toast now.
Yeah, right. I don't know what that means. Like, wait, we're having sex? Why did you say jelly on my toast? Because like now I want toast with jelly on it.
No, I'm talking about jelly. Like I'm jealous. Like
Oh.
like jelly. What? That's another word.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't get it. So I'm excited to see like Yoga Hosers, Mallrats, just to see like what would a Kevin Smith Mallrats look like today, with the old cast. So
He said, I don't know how much this has changed since I've last heard about it, but apparently the plot basically is Brody is holding a comic convention at the mall, and then terrorists come and attack the mall, so it becomes a comedy Die Hard within the mall.
I'm sold.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
There was this
I'm
one.
down.
Speaking of, this is not a Kevin Smith idea, but somebody wrote. I'm a big Reddit fan. I love Reddit. I'm all over Reddit all the time. But I saw this one. There was this like famous Reddit thread on the movies subreddit about a great Batman movie idea, and
Yeah.
it was a comedic one, but it was that at Comic-Con, at a Batman panel, you got Adam West and Ben Affleck and Val Kilmer and Michael Keaton, and they're all there, and Kevin Conroy too, and then that gets run over by terrorists. And it's a comedy, but it's like all like Adam West is saying senile shit, and Val Kilmer's like, "Why am I here?" And and they have to like do like actiony comedy type things to save people and get out of the situation alive.
Yeah.
That would be an amazing idea, man.
Yeah, dude. It's like JCVD almost.
Exactly. It's amazing. Adam West is still kicking it, man.
Dude,
He's old, dude.
I'm pretty excited about that Batman animated film with him and some of the cast of the Batman.
Yeah, that
show
looked pretty
coming
good.
back. It looks fun.
Speaking of that, switching gears slightly, but did you watch Killing Joke?
No, I have it on my computer. I have not watched it yet.
Okay,
I've been nervous to watch it.
yeah, watch that, and then Ben Yip, senior Batman correspondent.
Yeah.
He said he'd like to come on and talk about that at some point.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
All
I
together.
like having Ben on. It's fun discussions.
Yeah, I've had like a little conversation about it, and of course he's got like a very well developed opinion about all
I know.
this. So
I kind of just shut up when he talks. I'm like, Ben's right, and I'm like, no, I have my own opinions.
you're like you would say something, but you just find yourself agreeing with him.
Yeah, most of the time. I mean, it's good. Like, I feel like he's it's really fun to have him on because he's pretty open to like most of our ideas, and like, I mean, I think in any kind of group, most of the time around good people are going to bring other ideas up that you might not have thought about, or I feel like our Suicide Squad conversation / review of film was great.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Pretty fucking in depth for us, but he brought up a lot of things I never thought about because he's read a lot more Batman stuff than I have.
Yeah, that's his main deal, man.
It didn't change my opinion on the movie so much, but it did open my eyes up to certain things that happened that I was just like, what? So,
It's
like most of the time, it just gives me good stories to read of Batman stories that I haven't read before.
Right. I still want to find that freaking Night of the Stalker. It's that one that he said it was his favorite. It has no dialogue.
Yeah.
I I've like asked on Reddit. I've asked people at comic book stores like, what compilation is this in? I've searched on Amazon. Uh, I've asked Ben. I don't think he remembers. I
Yeah.
guess he has just a single issue that he got somewhere. I'm trying to find it in a compilation or something.
Yeah.
Because that's one I definitely want to quote unquote read. I guess I don't know, flip through. There's no dialogue, so I don't know what you do.
Yeah.
But sounds great, man. I mean, it's also that one's also Michael Uslan's favorite, and that's the guy that wrote The Boy Who Loved Batman.
Yeah. Cool.
The he was the guy that he's been a producer since day one, and he is like almost like a Batman activist, dude. And it's nuts. He was a lawyer at United Artists, I think, and he had the idea of getting Tim Burton to direct '89 Batman.
Oh, cool.
I think that was his idea. I've met him a couple times actually. I took my picture with him. He's a nice
Cool.
guy.
Yeah, man, I can do that. I'm sure. I'm sure most of Superhouse will watch The Killing Joke to talk to Ben about it. So
I've seen it. I would like to say things about it, but I want to wait. We're gonna save that for another day.
I've been kind of scared because I thought the reviews of it were going to be way better than what they were. But
Yeah.
I did like what you said about it. Like, I don't know. Like when I watch these adaptations, like I don't know if I want like. I feel like a lot of the stuff I read was like, it's good, but it didn't bring anything new. And I was like, well, I'm watching The Killing Joke. I don't know if I want anything new, because I get like, why would I want to change something Alan Moore wrote?
The main point I want to bring up about it is kind of spoilery. So
Well, I mean, I've read the comic, so
yeah. Well,
what?
yeah. Okay. All right.
I mean, unless it like
It's
changes
a it's
things.
a directing thing. The way they do that last part, like the way like when he says the joke at the end and they just have a laugh,
Yeah,
the camera just pans down
yeah.
into the sidewalk, the asphalt,
Hmm.
and then it just fades out, and it's just not quite as epic as I had imagined. I don't know. I feel like it just ended kind of weak, and I know it kind of. When you read the comic, you're like, when you first read, you're like, it ends on this joke, okay, but
Yeah. I feel like
it's just a. I feel like that could have been directed a little better, and they could have like played into the whole Grant Morrison, like, did he kill him? Did he not? Like they
yeah,
didn't really like go into that at all. The rest of it was pretty much exactly like the comic, but there was one. The first 30 minutes are kind of tacked on, and I'm pretty sure the only reason for that they're made up. They're not part of the original comic.
yeah,
The only reason for that is to make it a feature length film.
yeah,
That's really all it is, and it's not bad, but it definitely feels kind of it feels tacked on. And the Batgirl thing that happens, it's at first I was like, okay, whatever. But when I heard other people's opinions, I was like, yeah, I guess you're right.
yeah. I've also heard
I'm
it.
spoiling the whole fucking thing for you, but yeah, you should watch it.
It's fine. Like, I mean, you haven't spoiled anything. I still haven't seen it. I don't like when people say I'm spoiling it for you. It's like, well, I haven't seen it. I don't know my own reaction to it yet. Like you're just telling me about something.
But since you already read the comic and it's pretty much that comic, I'm okay saying it. But I don't like to, especially if there's a twist, like Bruce Willis is actually a ghost. Like you can't
Yeah.
you can't do shit
Wait,
like
what?
that.
What movie is this?
Yeah.
No, yeah, I need to watch it. I've just been kind of, I don't know, like it's like an animated movie I didn't need, almost, is the way I
Yeah.
think about it. Like, it's not on my radar to like watch. Like all the other ones I try to watch, because maybe they're based off the comic, but they don't really follow. Like they take some liberties in certain things or add other comics to it. I forget which one. It was like I think it was Batman versus Robin was where the Court of Owls come in the animated movie.
I haven't
But
seen that one actually. I haven't seen it
like
other
I
than the
think
Killing Joke. I haven't seen them in a while. I want to see that Justice League versus Teen Titans.
it's good. I liked it. But like I know some of those kind of take from other comics and like to flesh out the movie a little more. So when it was the Killing Joke, I was like, it's weird they're calling it that. Like maybe if they called it something different, but inspired by like the Killing Joke. But just
No, I
seeing
mean,
him
look,
have like a straight
it's
up
almost
adaptation.
exactly the same as the comic. It's just that first 30 minutes.
So like for me, I don't like I was not like I'm excited to see it because I love the comic, but at the same time I was like I could just read the comic. It's not even that long, you know.
Yeah,
It's like I could just watch that.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean I want to watch it. It's just something that I've like had on my computer that I've just been kind of I guess anxious, nervous to watch the reviews and stuff that I've read and like just like from sources that I enjoy the reviews of. I'm like, oh no, I thought this was gonna be like knock it out of the park kind of movie, but I'll watch it now. Like I'd love to talk about to Ben about it, and I
We
haven't read the
might set that
comic
up
in
for
a
the
long.
next one.
Yeah, I haven't read the comic in a long time though, so I'd like to like watch it and then maybe find a copy of the book and reread it. So I don't know. Yeah, sounds cool, man. I'm always down. I like Ben. He's cool.
Yeah, I think
Always up for talking about the Batman and anything around surrounding him.
it's a good mix. Good
Yeah,
mix. I think we're gonna end it here because we're approaching the 2 hour mark.
yeah, sounds good.
We had some other things we want to talk about, but we always go long.
We
um,
had four last time. I think we can end this one a little short.
yeah. So this has been episode 26. We'll probably do this Ben thing. We'll talk with the other guys. I think they'll be okay with it, and maybe do a Killing Joke thing pretty soon.
Nice.
What did we say was coming out next weekend? Oh, Yoga Hosers. We're probably going to
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yep. I think it should be a mandatory viewing for the episode. That'd
Yes,
be a good episode, Yoga Hosers, and then we talk about Killing Joke. That'll
that's
be
a good
fun.
one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Any game releases coming out? Game releases happening?
I don't know.
All right.
Uh,
Um, I think that's going to do it for this ep, you
yeah.
guys. This has been Andrew Bush from Los Angeles.
This is Maddie from Cincinnati.
Check you later, guys.
Bye.